Do I use hypnosis? This is a question I was asked only yesterday. Do I use hypnosis? And yes, I do. If you look at all the posts I put up, there's a lot of things I do, and I do a lot of hypnosis. And I also do a lot of other things as well. Like in the world of therapy and mindset coaching, there's a lot of tools you can use. And I use whatever's necessary to get the change that the client wants to achieve. I mean, there's so many different things out there. We can look at hypnotherapy, NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, the Ho'oponopono, the EFT, the emotional freedom technique, or the tapping. You may have heard of that. Cognitive behavior therapy, the CBT, and there's so many things go on. Conversational hypnosis too. So the concept is I'll use whatever's necessary to get the result that the client's looking for, whether we're working for a couple of sessions or whether, and a couple of sessions may be for things like quit smoking, overcoming phobias, developing confidence, developing some communication skills to improve the ability to get rapport and effectiveness in getting your message across, that sort of thing. Or we might do longer term mindset coaching, which then brings in some of the old business coaching aspect as well to achieve desired outcomes where you've got accountability and discipline. Asking questions, asking the right questions, asking questions that open the mind to reframe and see different possibilities, so you can see doors opening instead of walls just closing everything off. So there's a whole range of things. So we come back, and this is all about what we want to do. The goal is not only to get help the client to achieve their goal, but it's also to assist the client in unlocking the inner resources that they have within them, in their subconscious or unconscious mind, to be able to get into alignment with themselves, congruency. Because when you're out of alignment, when you're out of alignment, things just aren't right, they're not working, you're not getting the things you want, you've got mental blocks, self-sabotage, you're out of alignment. And the things that we're working on is to bring you back into alignment, bringing you back into the positive self-image of the person that you really are, or truly are. Because there's so many things people come along for. Like you got the smoking, weight loss, the mindset coaching, fears, phobias, the inability to connect, develop rapport. Like there's a whole range of things up there. And when we get drilled down, we get down deep, we come back to the self-image. So maybe there's PTSD, traumas of various sorts arising from events that have happened in life to knock the crap out of you, or to shake you from believing in yourself, or to things that have happened to diminish your self-image. And there's so many different things out there. Traumas of many sorts, being in a car accident, a plane accident, child sexual assault. There's a huge range of stuff, let me tell you. So anyway, we come back down to working on those things, unlocking the inner resources and getting down to repair or recreate the self-image. Anyway, that is diving deep. So I was asked this question, do you use hypnosis? And yeah, absolutely, if it's necessary, because it comes in a number of different forms too. You can have your eyes open or your eyes closed. You can know that it's happening or you can not know that it's happening. It can be in a formal situation where a client might either be on a Zoom call or maybe in the recliner chair that I have here in the room, and it's about helping people. So it can happen in many different ways, shapes and forms. So here are the common questions. I wrote down a list. Maybe you've got some other questions. I'd really like to know, what are your questions about hypnosis? Because it'd be very interesting to see what else is there in your mind. Like a lot of people think of the Hollywood stuff where some guy comes on and stares until this person drops into a trance state and does whatever they're told. That it's a little bit dramatized. However, I have colleagues who've gone to other cultures where they don't speak English, and through the eye gaze, the concentration, the focus can help take people into a trance. So whether you're using your eyes, using your words, your tonality, your body language, it is possible to help people go into state. So let's get to the first question. What is it? Wow, you're going into a different state. We're bypassing the conscious critical factor to go to your unconscious mind where all the programs are to create a change. Now, some people just think of the induction or that process of going into a state of hypnosis, and that's all they think about, which is shortchanging yourself, because the whole idea is we want to go into a place where the conscious mind is bypassed so we can communicate with your unconscious mind. We want to go there because we want to create a change. So it doesn't matter whether it's a rapid induction, a slow induction, or whatever induction you use. We just want to open your unconscious mind wide open to accept suggestions for change. Now, if you think of what can I liken it to, probably when you're in bed at night and you're drifting off to sleep, you're not awake anymore, you're not asleep yet. It's just that zone in between. So if you want to give your partner a suggestion, that's the time to do it. But there's a few little tests you got to do before you open your mouth. Let me tell you. Story for another time. Okay, so what can it be used for? Well, the hypnosis can be used for so many different things, as I was saying earlier, like getting rid of bad habits, taking on good habits, helping enhance performance, which again, all these things come back to self-image. So what are some of the things that I've helped people with? Well, smoking, weight loss, performance, achievement, PTSD. There's a couple of things come to mind there. And with the weight loss, there's so many things behind the weight loss, because that layer is a layer of protection in many cases, and the things that come up from that. Yeah, sometimes you just want to buy a gun and put down those people that created those traumas, but that's probably not going to be a positive thing, is it? So, incest, sexual assault, many horrible things happen to people. And it's not just those sort of things. There's being assaulted, armed assault, a whole range of things. And then we go into other things, performance anxiety. So if people want to get up and speak in public, that can be overcome by reprogramming the unconscious mind. Or, hey, I see Grant here. So if you want to be an even higher performer in the world of R&R, you could use hypnosis for that, because you're just programming yourself to be an even better performer. So how does it work? Well, I just said it. You bypass the conscious mind to get into the unconscious mind and rewire the programs. And look, you've seen me do a number of shows, comedy hypnosis shows, where we get people from the audience to volunteer, and then you sift and sort until you get the right people. In a public event, not everyone's going to get up and go, hey, look, I want to be hypnotised. In fact, when I walk around before a show, a lot of people are saying, no, we don't want to be hypnotised. And there's skeptics, they don't believe it exists, and that sort of thing. They usually make the best volunteers. But it's sifting and sorting. So out of 100 people, for every 100 people in the show, you might get somewhere between 10 and 20, maybe more volunteer. You usually send back at least half, because you want the very best volunteers, because you want a great show. And then out of those half that are remaining, probably half again are really good. Because some people pop up, you just put them back to sleep, or put them back into hypnosis, and just have a great show. That's in a show type scenario. When we're doing some group hypnosis workshops or some one-on-one, I've got someone here in the chair or on Zoom, it's a matter of they've already come to you, they're already expecting it, they've already given permission, so bang, that's a lot easier to do. Or when you do street hypnosis, people come up and volunteer, and you'll get some really good results there. So when you come to why doesn't it work, well, because sometimes people will ask, if you go to a show, why didn't that work? Well, people are distracted because you need to use your inner focus and imagination. And at a show, if they're on stage and they hear someone's phone or they think someone's laughing at them, their awareness has gone from the internal to the external. So they'll pop out. And it's just a matter of going back and knocking them out or putting them back into trance, if you like. And of course, the people in the audience, if someone walks up to me and says, well, you can't hypnotise me, I say, that's absolutely right. So go away. But then they'll chase you to say, no, please hypnotise me. Very, very funny. Will it work for you? Yes, if you want it to work for you. And it can also be a matter of practice, and the more you go into trance, the easier it is to go into trance. That repetition, it's like any skill you pick up. You can just go, the more you practice it, the easier it is to do. Think about how often you daydream, because you can't give 100% focus and concentration at all times, and you drift off. So you just go into your own little world. That's a trance-like state. You're driving on the road, and you miss your turn, or you don't realise because your mind's off somewhere else. Highway hypnosis. You're watching the TV, you're watching that screen, it's drawing you in, your focus is there. People can't speak to you because you're watching the footy or The Bachelor or Married at First Sight or some other enlightening program. And that's television trance, TV trance. Then the ads come on and Jerry Harvey's there saying, buy a TV. So you go out and buy another TV. That's what ads are there for. What does it feel like to be hypnotised? That's a really interesting one, because some people will say, look, I didn't feel like I was hypnotised. And you go, well, what do you think you're going to feel? Some people said, well, I could hear you all the time, Wayne. Well, I said, I didn't tell you to be deaf, did I? So the feeling, when you're going into it, you can feel very relaxed, deeply relaxed, and you drift off into a sleep-like state, but you're not asleep because your unconscious mind is still taking on the suggestions. It can be a bit confusing because all of a sudden you're doing things that you weren't doing before, like not picking up the cigarette, or your focus becomes on the highest priority activities instead of drifting off, because your focus on your performance is all of a sudden really sharp where it wasn't before. So I know at times when I was going through a lot of hypnotherapy, when I went through some dark times in 2005, sometimes I'd drop off and it'd come to an hour later saying, what happened? I remember the beginning and I remember coming out, but I don't remember what was in between. That's fine. If your unconscious wants your conscious mind to know, it'll tell it. Or sometimes I'll hear all the way through and look, not much happened. Or with a really skillful practitioner, you won't even know it's happening because metaphors will be used. And you're hearing a story, and the idea of this is the story goes into your deeper mind. It says, hey, that's just like me. And so we'll work towards there. Metaphors are used a lot when you go to free seminars, which takes me to the next question. Can you be hypnotised against your will? You can be hypnotised while you don't know that you're being hypnotised. So you'll see in a lot of webinars, I steer away from doing that because I want people to be able to connect with me without manipulating them. Okay, so it can be used, that's hypnosis and LP and other things, can be used to manipulate you to do things you wouldn't do. So if you're at a live event, a free seminar, or even one you've paid to go to and they want to upgrade you to the next one, what will happen is through using metaphors, conversational hypnosis, you'll be put into a buying state, and you'll run to the back of the room salivating, waving your credit card, buying stuff that really you're going to go home and you're not going to use it. So I'm dead set against that. It's just bullshit. Yeah, it angers me because I want to lift people, empower people, and give people help them get to achieve a better version of themselves, the ideal version of themselves. It's very, very important to me. It's one of my higher values. And with that, I really don't like unfinished business. I like to go through to completion to see the client achieve what they want. So we might have to rip apart and knock over some mental blocks, some walls there that they've got, so we can just put that aside so they can let go of the things that hold them back, whatever habit or thing that is, and they can take hold of the things that lift them up, the things that empower them, strengthen them, and help them to shine as the light they truly are. It's a few of the questions that I answer. And again, I ask, if you've got any other questions or any other comments on what I've just been sharing, please put them in the comments so I can interact and I can give you more of the things that are of interest to you. And if you're curious, what is it? What is it like? Will it work for me? If you really want to, just put test in the comments and we can tee up a time on Zoom or on a Facebook video call. 5 or 10 minutes, I can just show you how you can use your inner focus and your imagination and your creativity to take you into a deeply relaxed state, which is the doorway to going into the hypnotic state, to be able to accept suggestions. It's not going to be taking you all the way into hypnosis. It's just taking you to the edge, but it's a good demonstrator. And you're not going to bark like a dog, cluck like a chook or any of that. I mean, I might do that. No, I won't do it to you. But there's times when people from the audience just call out, yes, make them cluck like a chook. Well, it's a little bit cliche. I like doing other things which can be much more impressive. Anyway, if you want to test it out, put test in the comments and let's have a chat, whether it's on Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever, or on Zoom. It's a nice, easy one. And I can show you how powerful your unconscious mind really is. And with the power of your unconscious mind, you can get rid of garbage, put in some good stuff, and really and truly live a life that you really love. Okay, you have a fantastic Friday. I look forward to hearing from you and working with you real soon. Cheers.